Hey everybody, this is day 2 of circles. Since today is a day of you learning by yourself, I'm keeping it short and sweet. We're just going to do a few examples of more in-depth circle questions. Starting with this warm-up. Let's take a look at this kind of a puzzle type of question. It says, which option gives you more pizza? Is it option number 1, 2 medium 8-inch pizzas versus option 2, 1 large 16-inch pizza? Before we even start, why don't you try and guess what answer it might be? Do you think it's the 2 pizzas, 2 mediums, or 1 large? Which is more? More area or more pizza to actually eat? You know, it might seem, right? It seems just the way our brain works, right? 2 versus 1. It seems like the 2 mediums might be more pizza, or if you think a little bit more in depth, you might say, well, 2 medium pizzas, well, that's 8 inches across, that's 8 inches together. Like if you put them right up to each other together, that would be 16 inches across. And isn't that the same as the large? So maybe they're equal. Or maybe you fall in the camp of thinking the large is more. We'll see. We have to do math to get that exact answer. Which one is more? And then next time you're ordering pizza with your family, you can show off. You can ask this as a trick question to your parents and see what they say. And then this will help you order wiser when you're ordering pizza. All right, option 1, 2 medium pizzas that are 8 inches each. Let's see how much area, oops, bloopers, how much area that gets us. 2, let's do area equals pi r2. And why am I doing area, by the way? That's because, well, when you eat, aren't you eating the inside, the actual pizza? You're not just eating the outside crust. That would be circumference. You're eating the whole thing. So that's why we're doing the area formula. Pi r2. Remember what pi was from yesterday? 3.14. Yikes. 3.14. I need to do better handwriting here. Pi is 3.14. It's just that number that you need to just know. R. What we've been given, the 8, that is the diameter all the way across. We don't want that. The area formula needs the radius, which is 4. I got the 4 by cutting the 8 in half. And so the radius is 4. Let me clean all of this up. 3.14 times radius, which is 4, with the little 2 that's squared, and we solve. Remember, this is just for one of the pizzas. Since this is not a test or a quiz question, we're kind of just guesstimating maybe, which is the better option. Why don't we round off this 3.14 to 3, make life a little easier. What is 4 squared? Because we do have to work this out first. That would be 16. 4 times 4, not 4 times 2. And then 16 times 3, that is 16 times 3 is going to be 48. I'm guessing, yep, 48. So each pizza is about 48. A little bit more, I know we did round. So then if 48 times 2 together to get the total, both of these pizzas together would be 48 plus 48 is 96 inches squared, remember? Okay, so that's the medium pizza. Let's calculate the 1 large 16-inch, the area of that. Area equals pi r2, plug your numbers. Let's just use 3 for pi in this situation since we're guesstimating. 16 across, but that is not the radius. We need the radius, which would just be half, and that's 8. Do the exponent first. 8 times 8 is 64 times 3. 64 times 3 is 192. 192 inches squared. So compare these two answers, and did it meet your prediction? Turns out the large pizza is way more than the two mediums. The winner is the one large pizza. Right, it's not obvious, we wouldn't think that, but it is. So you're better off, if you want to apply this in real life, you're better off buying one large pizza than buying two mediums. And here's a little extension of that, guys. This doesn't have to do with the warm-up. We've solved our question, but think about in real life if you want to make a better purchase, right, for your money, better bang for your buck. Large pizza, a medium pizza, let's say for example, if it's like $10, it's not as though they double a large pizza and make it $20 or $25. They usually just bump this up by a couple. They bump this up and make this $12 or $14 maybe at the max. Depends on the toppings. So you are getting way more for just that $2 extra, and the better deal is to get the large pizza. What the pizza place is tricking you on is just in our head we think that the medium is like a small doable size and it's a good price, and so if you get two mediums you would be spending $20 for less than what you're eating for the large. The one large for $12, and you can trust me on this. I did work at Pizza Hut when I was in high school, briefly, and so I know the price differences, they don't bump up the large that much. Okay, something interesting and something you can apply next time you're ordering pizza. Let's review what you learned yesterday, which was quite a big lesson, huge topic on circles. Remember what all of these little vocabulary words are. Use this circle to answer 1 and 2. Off of that circle, the radius is 5. Remember, radius is the line that goes halfway across. The diameter would be if it went all the way across, so double the 5, the diameter would be 10. The outside of a circle is called circumference. Circumference. When dealing with other shapes, the outside is called the perimeter. It's just for circles that has the special word. Space is the area, is the space inside. And the special symbol pi used in circle formulas is 3.14. Yes, in our warm-up, just since we were doing like a fun kind of thing, I just rounded it to 3. You can do that. Remember, that was a shortcut I told you was available if you're doing multiple choice questions. You can round the 3.14 to 3 just to help you get a ballpark estimate. Okay, let's do a word problem that's going to involve several steps, and we're going to work through this together. Lots of times on a test and a STAR question especially, they like to do a very multi-step question that's going to involve a lot of different things that you have to put together. So here's a good example of that. Jeremy wants to paint the center circle. This is a basketball court, by the way, if you could tell. Jeremy wants to paint the center circle and the two free throw half circles a new color. A jar of paint covers 500 square feet. Will one jar be sufficient to complete painting? So there's quite a bit going on. There's several circles, and then it's talking about jar of paint, and the final question is, does he have enough or not? It's a yes or no. It's not, they're not saying what is the area. So let's work through this. Let's make a plan of action. Let's figure out what's going on first. So on this basketball court, he wants to paint the center circle, right? And painting it means painting the inside. He wants to paint that. And then he also wants to paint the two free throw half circles. They're called semicircles or semicircles. There we go. So that is the area he's painting. On your piece of paper you can shade or color in that so that it's obvious. And a jar of paint covers 500 square feet. Will one jar be sufficient? Before we get to the sufficient part, let's figure out what this area is if he paints all of this. We need that before we can say is it sufficient or not. We need to find the area of this circle. Area equals pi r2. And think about these two half circles. Here's one. They're actually identical to each other. If we moved this, right, picture us moving this half circle to here, and we put it together. Wouldn't that form one whole circle? Yeah, so we should just do it that way. We'll move this half circle over to there, and now we've got a complete circle. So we have two circles that we need to find the area of. Area equals pi r2. Let's plug the numbers in where they belong. So remember, pi stands for 3.14. This is not a multiple choice, so let's just go ahead and use the full 3.14. The radius is, well, what they've given us is the 8 going all the way across. That is the diameter. So we just want the radius, which would be 4 half squared. And we'd work that out. So we do 3.14. 4 squared, that means 4 times 4 is 16. To get this area, so one more calculation, one more step, 3.14 here. It's always good to have a refresher on how to do some of these long multiplications. I see y'all making a lot of mistakes on these. So 3.14 times 16, 24, 8, 18, 0, 3.314, 4, 50.25. So the area of that center circle is 50.24 feet squared, of course. So we have that one. Now let's find the smaller circle, those two half circles put together. Pi, of course, is 3.14. What is the radius? So here's where the mistakes happen. Some people just go too fast and they put the 6, which would be wrong because that is the diameter. You need to put 3. Well, I'm writing 3, it just doesn't look like it, but you need to put 3. 3 would be the radius just halfway across, half of the 6 squared. So 3 times 3 is 9. Don't do 3 times 6. Don't do 3 times 2. 3 times 3. And then multiply by pi. 3.14 times 9. Think again roughly, you should always have a rough guesstimate in your head. 3 times 9 is 27, so this is probably going to be 28 something. 3.14 times 9, 4 times 9 is 36. 9 plus 3, 10, 11, 12. Yep, I was right. 28 point something, 28.26 feet squared. Okay, so together, if one jar of paint can cover 500 square feet, does he have enough? Is that one jar sufficient? Oh yes, more than enough. He could probably paint 10 of these. So the answer would be yes. Yes, sufficient. Alright, so it was very multi-step. There were a lot of things going on. First you needed this before you could do that. This is how you need to break down a word problem. Use the picture. If this picture was not available for you, draw yourself a picture. Visualize. Do it one step at a time. Honestly, for this example too, we could have used 3 instead of 3.14 just to guesstimate, just to make sure we're in the right ballpark. Make life easier for you. Remember, work smarter, not harder. Alright, we don't need to do much more. These were just some, the warm-up and this are just examples of some in-depth multi-step. use those as reference, and you're going to do some practice on your own. And good luck. You're going to have a quiz tomorrow on circles.